Hey, Gabby, answer me a question. True or false, 2 weeks ago, you watched yourself on television from 1977. You're playing with the Maple Leafs, playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins. True or false?
True. I can't make this stuff up. I have no life. So I'm sitting in the middle of the afternoon and I turn on the TV and it's Pittsburgh Penguin Classics. And I'm going, that's the Leafs they're playing. Wonder what year this is. And they said, December 27th, 1977. And I said, holy crap, I played that game. So obviously it piques your interest because I haven't watched myself play for the most part in an awful lot of years. And man, I almost turned it off twice. I mean, I sat there and I said, if I was the coach of that team, I wouldn't have played me. I always thought I was good. Boy, I gave the puck away more than friggin' Barry Melrose gave the puck away in that game. So, I mean, I was awful. But I mean, I couldn't believe that I was a floater, and I was so mad at myself. I called my wife and I said, I can't believe I was this bad, and I thought I could play in the NHL. If I was a coach, I would have sat me out every other game. So I don't want to see myself play in 1977 again because I thought I was good.
So what did you do in the game then, Gabby? Did you just float? Did you do anything? You didn't get on the sheet, but did you do anything in the game?
Blind passes up the middle, intercepted, circled everywhere, never stopped on the puck. I was always looking for they got the puck. Maybe I get behind the defense, but I got a breakaway. Oh, man. Everything you learn as a coach that you don't want your young forward that scored 100 points in the OHL to do because he's got to learn hockey. I was doing it. And at the end of the night, I'm mad at Roger Nielsen for not playing me, and as much as I would like to. And when you look at it 30 years later or whatever, you're sitting there going, man, did he make the right call?
Did you win the game?
No, we had a 3-0 lead early in the game and then lost 4-3. And I think that's why it was on the Pittsburgh Classic type thing because of their comeback. The fourth line center that night was Jack Valaket, and he scored in the second shift of the game. So for the life of me, I don't know why he wasn't on at the empty net goal instead of me. But then again, coaches always talk about coaches. So there we go.
I know you didn't score. I know you didn't get any assists. Did you at least hit somebody?
Hey, if they don't have this on video somewhere, then I'll be shocked because I rocked two guys. And one was in the corner. I'm serious. It was my proudest moment of the game. And the other one was in front of the net. And there was a scrum, and I came in and I knocked over Greg Malone because I remember it because I ended up having a fight with him at one point. I knew I had a fight with him where he kicked the crap out of me in junior. And I had another fight with him where I just held on for dear life. And I think my fingers were embedded in his sweater. He had marks on his arms from me digging in so deep because I wouldn't let him fight me or punch me. But that was my whole game plan. I was a little goon back in 77.
Welcome to the Hockey Lifers. Jeff Marek alongside Bruce Boudreau, affectionately known as Gabby, as we all know. And this is your, how do we say this, Gabby? Weekly tour through the world of hockey. This is going to be the Gabby lens, how Gabby sees hockey, and I'll throw in my little nickel and dime observations as well. Coming up on the program a little bit later on, we will talk about the headline stories around the NHL. Nikita Kucherov hits 1,000 points, and the two hottest teams don't look now, as we all predicted, the Utah Mammoth and the New Jersey Devils. But up first here, Gabby, Alexander Ovechkin. When we all think of Ovi, we all have very specific memories of him. On the ice, off the ice, all of it. One of the most dynamic players the game's ever seen. From a professional point of view, when I think of Alexander Ovechkin, I think of my first assignment ever for Hockey Night in Canada. It was a Saturday night, your Washington Capitals playing the Ottawa Senators, and my first assignment was a bench-side interview with Ovi. Super nervous. I don't know how I stumbled through it, but somehow I did. And the other thing I remember from that night in Ottawa was at the media meal and hearing you call me over saying, Jeff, you had a plate of food. Where do I go pay for this? And I'm like, Gabby, you're a coach in the NHL. You're not in the minors anymore. Just go, bud. You don't need to pay for this one at all. Do you have a memory from that game? Ovechkin went off for 4 goals. You guys won a thriller, 8-6. What do you remember from December 29th, 2007?
Well, I remember quite a few things. First of all, I was really good in my younger days at doing the D&D, so I was going to take off without paying anyway, even if I had to pay. But secondly, you forgot to mention, it was only a salad. It was just greens on there. Because that's what, athletes, we just eat the proper food. So that taken care of. I do remember that because we were starting to play, I'd gotten the job at Thanksgiving a month before, and now we were starting to really roll as a team that was still in last place, by the way. But Alex had come up to me in the morning, not Alex, the trainer, and he said, hey, Bruce, Alex last night got a cut on his leg. It's going to take about 25 stitches. It's on the inside of his thigh. So I don't know if he can stride. I don't know if he can play. And so Alex was listening to this and he comes over and he says, no, coach, Russian machine never breaks. I'll play tonight. You just let me get a morning skate. I go around a couple times and see if it's okay, but I'm going to play. So sure enough, he plays. He scores 4 goals. After the game, he comes off the ice and he's winking at me. He said, see, Russian machine never breaks. And I went, oh my God, what have I got here? I'm a month into my NHL tenure. I know the guy's great and I know he's a superstar, but I didn't know he was this kind of guy. But if you did notice about the game was my defensive style of coaching that really got us to win all those playoff rounds. If we could hold the team to 5 or 6, we were good back in those days.
Ripped out of the pages of 1986, Gabby. Those games were a lot of fun to watch. It was a big weekend for Alex Ovechkin. Goal number 899, game number 1500 as well. The goal, a beautiful shot after a clean draw win by Dylan Strome. 1,500 games for Alexander Ovechkin, soon to be 900 goals. We caught up with the NHL's greatest goal scorer, Alex Ovechkin, last week at the MedStar Capital's Iceplex. Here's that interview. First of all, Alex, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, guys.
First guest on the new podcast. I know you don't get nervous, so This is going to be fantastic. Here's my opening question for you. What do you remember from the first time you met Bruce Boudreau?
It was like yesterday. He came to the room. Obviously, we have a young team, and he just tell us, "Okay, guys, here we are. I don't know, if I'm going to stick around for long or not. So you just do your thing." And he came. He gave us freedom, and we make a playoffs. And I think it was 65 goals that year.
65 might have been the next year. Because you won the Hart the next year, right?
No, I think it was. Is it second year?
Second
it was
year.
my second year.
The first year, because I came in 21 games in. I think you might have. I don't know.
No. My third year, I scored 65.
Oh,
65,
okay.
Yeah. So he gave me freedom. Me, Becky, Simon, Greener, all the guys, and. Obviously, he knows all the players because he was in the Hershey, and so yeah.
Okay, Gabby, what's your side? What's your side of that story?
Here's my side. Is when they called me in the morning and I rushed there. I didn't know what the hell was going on, and then I remember walking around the room because I used to walk around the room and talk to the guys, and it didn't dawn on me until I came because Nikki would sit there and Alex would sit beside Nikki, right?
Yep.
And I looked up at your nameplate and I said, "Holy, I'm coaching Alex Ovechkin? What am I doing right now?" And then we just went in. I said I didn't know what to say and went in and just said, "Let's go, boys. Let's have some fun." But I do remember that in my mind, and because I think I always would tell you, "Hey, I'm going to give you crap a little bit here, so just be ready."
Yeah.
So, but the first practice I didn't, and I stopped it and I said, "Alex, you got to do this," because I figured if I didn't say something to you right off, and you were fabulous because you listened and did what I wanted you to do. Then I can yell at anybody else if I could yell at you at the beginning.
Yeah, I remember like we have a meetings, and he's like, okay, get ready. You're gonna be in like, I'm gonna yell at you, not yell, but I'm gonna show some mistakes. So I say, yeah, whatever, you can do it.
So he told you that you were going to be the star of the video review that day?
Yeah. Sometimes like me, Salmon, mostly like all the time. But I think it worked.
Yeah,
It worked well.
That season when Bruce took over was like a magical one, right? There was and the whole NHL seemed to get behind you too. And it wasn't until it was the last game of the year that you made it. I think it was like a 3-1 game against Florida. It was a Sunday afternoon, and it was the culmination of like this incredible comeback by the Capitals. Like, what do you remember from that season specifically?
Obviously, how I said, like everybody knows, like, okay, Capitals, they just rebuild, they build the team. We build the team, right? So then we brought Sergei Fyodorov, Matt Cook. I think we get somebody else, right?
Well, those are the two that I remember most.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So
was that Cristobal Huet that year or the next year?
Next year.
Okay.
Next year. So obviously we have young team, but we have experienced guys as well. So we have Nylander, obviously Feds, Kozlov, Big, yeah, and like nobody thought like we're gonna make a playoffs, and then. If you remember, we played against Philly, and that was a bad call on ref, Game 7 in OT.
In overtime.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you what I did?
No.
Because it was Paul Dvorsky was the referee.
Yeah.
I went to his house and I TP'd his house because he lived next door to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And about 20 rolls of toilet paper. We're throwing it over on all the trees, his car, and everything. And
it was a bad call.
Yeah.
Bad call, but overall, like that year was a special year. We get some experience. It helped us in the future, and Bruce was great.
You've had so many teammates over the years. If you could pick 3 that you really miss playing with, like you could snap your fingers and they're back on the Washington Capitals with you now. Who are those 3?
Becky, Greeny, and Salmon. So those 3. I think we have a best time relationship on the ice and off the ice. We're growing up together, and those 3 guys, miss most.
They were good guys. Like, I mean, I loved them all. Salmon would give me the most trouble, and Greeny was the most secretive. You never knew what Mike was up to. But I mean, I had them all, and I loved them all too. And you know what, Salmon, what people don't realize sometimes is because he was, like there was you and then there was Salmon. He was so talented.
Oh yeah, I think he's the most skilled guy I ever saw in my hockey career, because we're growing up together in Russia. Like we play against each other in national teams, and then when I get drafted by Washington, he was already here, and obviously like. When I came here, he stayed in Russia for 1 year, and then he came back, and our relationship gets so tight. So obviously we hang out together. Like we go out, we go dinner, we play together. So yeah, it was a special moment.
Back then, did Fedorov help you guys? Like, I mean,
oh yeah,
I really liked him, but I just don't know how much interaction he had with you, because he was 38 or something like that at that time.
Fats, Kazi, those guys help us out big time, because, how I said, we was teenagers, right? So and they played in NHL so long, so they knew like the rules, they knew like life, and I never forget, like we went we played against Atlanta, and we went to Morton's steakhouse. And me and Salmon, and I think Wiley was there as well. I don't remember, but I know like it was 4 guys, and we were joking around like, "You old? You like what are you doing? Like stop playing hockey, like whatever." And Kazi tell us, "Hey, I know it's funny, but enjoy your moment, because like time flies. Right now I'm 40, and I'm still playing, but back then it was me and obviously like Lapi right now, right, in our team. So those moments fly so fast, and I remember he's like, enjoy the moment, time fly, and just take every day what you can best from those moments.
You mentioned your age, and I'm curious. I asked Sidney Crosby this question years ago, and his answer was, I wish I would have treated referees better. And the question is, if you could go back to when you first started in the NHL, would you change anything? Crosby said he would have been a little quieter around referees.
I'm not a big talker with the referees, obviously, but I think I would change something, but I'm not going to tell you. I would change something, but overall, it seems to work nice. You know.
One of the cool things about you when you hit the NHL is you had a great look, right? Like the skate lace belt was dangling down, and the tongues were hanging out of the skate. A really great look. But what capped it all off was a tinted visor. Are you still bitter about that?
Yeah, it's. I think it was Marek and Bruce said like he can see my eyes. I was like, what the heck? Like,
That's what he was worried about?
yeah, see my eyes. Like I'm in the blue line. You gonna look in my eyes? You know, like it's a weird thing. But Gary, I think said like, okay, no more tinted visor for Obi. Okay, whatever.
If they let you do it, would you go back to it right now?
Yeah, for sure. Why not? You know, I feel like I think that more. Okay, NFL. They still have tinted visor. You know, nobody look in the eyes, right? Everybody look in the place where's the ball, or like nobody cares. So you have to look at the puck, not not in your eyes.
Well, I just find that strange. And goalies, they're always a problem.
Yeah. That's why they're goalies.
Yeah, that's why they're goalies. Hey, I'm looking at you, and you got the little bit of growth, okay, here. And I'm thinking back, remember when you had that deal where you had to shave every
Yeah,
day?
Gillette.
Did that bug you? Like, I mean, because I know you always like to play with a little growth in your face.
Not really, but I think back then, like, you know, like when you're young, you always read something like fan page, you know, like all those stuff, and so as soon as you get in, like, okay, so you sign a deal with Gillette, good stuff. You have to shave every day. Like, if you remember, like I think in the playoffs, I asked my agent, can I have a beer? Like, in my
beer.
He said no, because like you have to do like a mustache or something. So okay, whatever. And the fans start talking, and like he didn't score because he shaved, and it goes to your mind right away. Okay, like okay, so maybe this is it. Maybe that's why I didn't score the goals.
Well, you always think as a goal scorer, like there's other reasons other than you didn't score. Yeah. Like I remember the one year your sticks broke all the time. Remember that year?
Yeah.
And that's when, because I remember, it's an interesting story. You remember the next year, like George told me, don't put Alex in that position on the power play. Because I remember you come in and I said, Alex, I can't put you there. You know, George has told me not to put you there because your sticks were breaking. You remember that?
Yeah.
And you'd come in and I said, I want you there, but I can't put you there.
Sometimes if you remember all those moments, it was kind of crazy times, because you came to the league, you have one stick, then they try to make new ones, and new ones not working, and you were like, you called that company and said like, hey guys, like I need my old stick. What the heck? Like I need my old stick. And I said no. The fabric or whatever, the company like they make new ones. And like I know it's not only my problem, it was a big issue with the different players as well.
Would they? A lot of players would just like keep using their old sticks, but just put a different wrap on. Would you do that too?
It's obviously the guy who came to our team always said like it's the same stick but different graphic, but it's not. So when you player, you know like exactly stick what do you need, and okay, so for you, I give you one stick and I give you same stick but the different graphic, you're not gonna feel the difference. But for us, it's a very important thing, and especially for me, like I don't care about the skates, gloves, helmet, whatever. Sticks is the most important thing.
I mean, you could get anybody out here, and not only Alex, but they would tell you that their stick is their baby. Like, I mean, the pregame, they wanted to get it perfect. Like, I mean, whether you sand a little bit off the toe, you make the tape had to be perfect on it. That was everybody's thing. So, I mean, you could tell me till the cows come home that the graphics are different. I would notice it was a different, different stick.
No,
right?
that's for sure. That's for sure. So, it was a big situation. You remember, like I have a contract with one company, and I switched to another because like I was so tired about sticks broken. They sent me a different curve or a different shaft. Like, said, okay, I don't need.
And you know it didn't come a problem to him, but every time he put so much pressure on his stick. That every time he was in the position, especially on the power play, they'd want to stick. It'd be so frustrating because it would break. That's why.
You remember Greeny? Yeah. So he have a problem with his sticks. So he get away signing sticks to the fans, and then he said, like, okay, can you bring my old sticks back, and I'll give you a new one, because he have a problem with his sticks. Yeah, it's a true story. So the fans came here, or they send them here, old stick with his signature, and he played with it. No, seriously.
With his own autograph on the stick.
Yeah.
But that's what you did. Like, I mean, once you have the one that works, you don't want to change it at all.
No.
Like, I mean, your hook has stayed the same over all these years, right?
Yeah.
All right, story time. The Minnesota Ovechkin story. You're coaching in Maine, and he tells you he's going to score.
No, pisses me off all the time when I'm coaching against him, because it was not only there in Anaheim. You go, Bruce, I scored 2 tonight. I scored 2, and every time you come
every time, like I did my laps, like I do my routines in the warm up, and he was always at the bench in a meeting and whatever in Anaheim, and I always like, see you soon. See you after the game.
The one in Minnesota that I remember, because he scored 2. I remember. And I wouldn't look at him when you and you're yelling, Bruce, look at me! Bruce, look at me! And I'm not looking at him. I know I'm gonna laugh or something, and you know, that's just what it was. And I remember the last game that I coached when I was in Vancouver here. You had so many chances to score, and you'd come out and you said, I should have had that one. I should have. But it's a love relationship. Like, I mean, he knew he could say that to me. I knew he could say it to me.
That relationship what we built all those years. It's a good relationship.
What's it about this organization for you? I mean, you've spent your whole career with the Washington Capitals, unwavering. What is it about the Caps? What is it about Ted? What is it about Washington?
Yeah, this is obviously my second family. This is my second home. You know, that relationship that we have, me, this team, ownership. It's great. Obviously, we've been through ups and downs, but most important thing, like if you're a hockey player and if you are spending so much time, obviously we want to Stanley Cup. That's the most important thing, and you want to win more and more. But sometimes shit happens, you know. Like last year, we was unbelievable in the regular seasons, but we have some issues in the playoffs. So, but that experience, how I said, like you know, those guys who make it the first time in the playoffs, you know, won the first round, is gonna help us and them in the future for sure. So, but overall, how I said, the city and the organization, the fans, and everybody, like, I feel like this is my second home.
When you won the cup, I think, I don't know, I'm putting words in your mouth, but I mean, it's that summer you realize how difficult it is to win the cup, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, Holtby makes that save. You know, if that goes in, maybe something's changed. But it's so the inches to win the Stanley Cup is so difficult. So when you do win it, it's got to be so gratifying.
Yeah, I think you can ask everybody who won the cup. We have so much different situations, injuries, suspensions. The guys didn't play maybe 20 games, but in the playoffs, like Becky got hurt, Willie get suspension against Pittsburgh, and like Walker, Chasen, they have to step up and play the game so they obviously they make a big
Contribution.
yeah, contributions for us. And every like our team was, if you take, you remember we have lots of great players, lots of experienced guys, but something didn't click. But 2018, I think everything was clicking because we was down 2-0 against Columbus, right? We were like, oh Jesus, okay, so here we go, 2-1, and then it's like a snowball, start building. Okay, we was down 3-2 against Tampa. Everybody thought okay, Tampa's going to be in the Stanley Cup final. Yeah, but we don't give them a chance. We destroy them in the game 6 and game 7. Same in Vegas. I don't think they have a chance after that save holds me.
I agree.
Yeah, and you can see those 2 games we play here. Yeah, obviously luck. If Neil scored that empty net, he hit the post. Maybe something changed, but I think overall, that moment what we have, nobody can stop us.
You're 40 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. I played till I was 38. And
should I retire?
No. I don't want you to ever retire. Do your training methods change in the summer?
It is a little bit, but when you go home after all happened last year, you don't have so much freedom. You have meetings, you have commercials, you have so much stuff going on. Obviously, me and Pavel, okay, we did some training, but it was so much different that year before, because you was so busy, and yeah, of course it's changing. Of course, you have to realize you're not 25 or 26 years old, so you have to do some certain things differently. Yeah, but overall, I think we did a pretty good job.
Let me add one more. I want to know, because I never asked you this. Are you as popular at home as you are here, as well known? I would assume when you walk the streets here, everybody knows who you are. I think you're the most popular athlete that's ever lived in the D.C. area of all and they've had 4 sports for a long time. But is it like that at home, or can you?
In Moscow, yeah. In Russia, yeah. It's crazy. Last 2 years, it's been crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's part of your life, part of your.
I get it. That is part. I just didn't know if it, because I'm sure they get to watch games on satellite and they know who Alex Ovechkin is. I just didn't know if walking the streets, if everybody knew you like they know you here.
Yeah. Same as here. Of course, some people don't know me because they don't follow hockey, whatever. But in Moscow, in Russia, it's everybody knows who I am.
Do you want to play a year there before you're done?
Yeah, I grew up there. I played for Dynamo, and of course I want to play maybe 1 or 2 games. So we'll see. You never know what's going to happen, right? So right now, I'm here and I'm enjoying my days here, and we'll see.
You wait till your Yager's age before you do that kind of stuff at 54.
Would you ever play that long? Yager's.
No. My kids wants to. So they always ask me Dad, is your last year, or you want to play in Russia for Dynamo? Said, well, let's enjoy this time.
I played with Mark and Marty Howe, and they played with their dad, and that was always Gordie Howe's ideal was to play with their kids. So that would need
about 8 to 10 years for you.
Okay, so Sergey right now, Sergey, he's 7, I'm 40. So he's going to be drafted in 11 years. I'm going to be 51. Should we call that right now?
Bring some lawyers in here, Gabby. Give Alex a pen.
Well, what about if you're not playing? Do you ever want to be a GM? I don't think you'd want to be a coach. I'm just guessing.
No, I obviously everybody have jobs, right?
Yeah.
And I never thought I never think about it what's going to be in the future, right? Coach or GM or whatever. So right now I'm a hockey player, and I just want to enjoy
being a hockey player.
Yeah,
okay.
Enjoy this this moment.
Last question for you: when you are done, what do you want people to think about you? Like, what's important that people know or feel or say about Alex Ovechkin when the career is done?
Just enjoy it. Enjoy the life. It doesn't matter who you are. You first of all have to be a regular person, regular man. Smile, enjoy, because you live once, and you just have to take everything from that life.
This has been great.
It is. And one thing I'll say, like, he doesn't know. I know a lot of the stuff that he does behind the scenes, and he won't tell anybody. He is a fabulous man. I'm not going to bring anything up, and but fabulous man. Is the best man I've ever met in a game. So
Curfew.
Love you.
Yeah. Curfew.
No. The curfew thing was sort of funny because you know what? In the room, you always played the electric music and everything, because he was in charge of music.
Yeah.
And then when I heard him answering the phone, and all I heard was electric music going on. Are you in? Yes, coach. Okay, boom, hung up.
I'll see you in the morning.
It is the morning.
Yeah.
Alex, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Yeah. Hey, good luck with this stuff.
Thank you. Okay, so Gabby, Alex mentioned 3 names of players he misses playing with. You coached all 3. Give us a thought on Green, Backstrom, and Semin. Those are the 3 that Ovi mentioned.
Yeah, great players all in their own right. It's funny. Anytime anybody says Alex Semin, I can go on for a long time about Alex Semin, but the first thing I always think of is him fighting Mark Stahl. And when he was slapping him there,
the bongos.
Yeah, and he's slapping him, and he's coming to the bench. He's coming to the bench after that, and everybody put their head down because they were all laughing, and they didn't want. It was Semin's first fight to see them laughing. But I mean, you take that first thought out of the way. Unbelievable talent. You just didn't know what you were getting on a game-to-day basis here. Alex will tell you, he had a better shot than Alex. He was bigger. He was faster. But I mean, he had no way the charisma that Alex had. But the one year he scored 40 goals and he was plus 38 or something like this, or those numbers are close. And he was a tremendous offset to him being Alex and having somebody on the second line for an offensive team. That was incredible. With Nicky Backstrom, the first thing I thought of was what a tremendous person and great character. And he was like the yin to Alex's yang type thing. And there would be every now and again, Nick would come to me and say, you know what, I might need a break from Alex for a day or so, because I mean, he was the conscientious one. He was an unbelievable passer, but very, you never seen a lot of emotion from Nick, but you knew Nick was there, and I mean, they sat beside each other every day. They went out every day. Probably the best commercial with 2 hockey players I've seen ever in Nick and Alex, and with the breakfast cereal thing. And so, I mean, but I always tell everybody Nick was probably, out of all the players I coached, the number 1 guy that I liked. And as far as getting, just as a superior human being. And then Mike Green, I had him in Hershey, and he was great. And I remember, like, the first Mike Green story is you get to learn your players in a hurry. And like Mike had come over, he was a first round pick and everything. And I remember the first couple games in Hershey. One of them, he wasn't playing very well, and I came down the bench and I just started screaming at him, and he played worse he played worse after that. And I went, oh, okay. So I talked to him after the game, and he says, well, I got all jittery when you yell at me. So, I mean, so the next couple games passed, and he was struggling again. So I went up to him and I put my arm around him on the bench, and I said, Mike, I need more from you. Come on, you're better than this. And he went out and he was a superstar. So, I mean, you read your players. And from that time on, from all that I never yelled at him on the bench, but if I had things to say to him, I would come up and just tell him in his ear. But what a great guy, what a great family, got to know them all well. Mike has always been, still is very close to me. Like, I mean, I don't see him often, but I know, like, for the 50th anniversary of the Caps, Mike came up and he said, I came because you were here. I wanted to talk to you, and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's when you see these guys and all three of them, you see them when they're young and you grow with them. It's a really special thought, and they stay special in your mind forever. And all three of those guys that Alex said, boy, my eyes brightened up because I was so happy they were guys that I had been with and went through the wars with him.
You know, that's interesting about Mike Green reacting negatively to being yelled at. I always think about the old coach's cliche, how a pat on the back is about 18 inches away from a kick in the butt. Who enjoyed being barked at? Who enjoyed the back and forth like that? Like, who enjoyed like a good yelling match on the bench?
Oh, if we were going to do something like that, Brooks Lake was great because I knew I could give him crap, and he would have the old school effect of going, oh yeah, I'll show you. Where some guys will sit there and go, oh yeah, like, I mean, yeah, he's yelling at me. Well, he's going to get nothing out of me now. But I mean, Brooks was like that. You know who else was like that was Kevin Bieksa. Kevin Bieksa, I mean, I had him for 2 years in Anaheim, and if I gave him crap, he would come right back with some, just like he is on hockey. I'd come back with a snarky remark. Quick story about Kevin. I love the guy. We became a lot better friends after I stopped coaching him, because his kid would come to my hockey school and stuff, and I would get him to come on the ice for an hour, which the people loved. But I remember one night in Tampa, we lost 5-1. And after the game, I'm watching the video and I'm getting madder and madder and madder. And the next morning, I see Kevin Bieksa right off the bat, and I said, Kevin, you come here right now. Come here right now. I want to show you something. I want to talk to you. And he says, well, what's up? And he says, I watched that tape and you gave the puck away 17 times. 17 times where you gave it right to the other team. And he said, you're lying to me. He says, what do you mean you're lying to me? He says, no. He says, I went home and I watched that game and it was only 12. And so I know you're lying to me. And I'm going, get out of here. Like this. He would challenge me at everything. He was one of the best teammates you ever want, because he would protect every teammate. But boy, he was a challenge for coaches. I know that. And, but you win with guys like Kevin Bieksa and the guys we previously mentioned, because they're gamers and they go and they play, and they play with their heart on their sleeve, and then they just do what they have to do to win.
That's a great story about Kevin. And I can, after having worked with Kevin for a number of years, I can tell you he has not changed. And that's probably why he's so successful on television. News around the NHL from the weekend. I want to get to Utah. I want to get to New Jersey. But coming off the Alexander Ovechkin interview, I want to talk about another Russian player, and that is Nikita Kucherov, who hit milestone 1,000 points for Nikita Kucherov, who, whenever I look at him and how he plays, first of all, he's the guy the players all admire. The player's player, the guy that everyone looks at and goes, wow, I wish I could do that. To me, he's the great illusionist of the NHL. He can get you, like, he can redirect action like nobody else. Gabby, I can't tell you how many times I've watched the Tampa Bay Lightning and watched one specific play, and I bite every single time. It's usually on the power play. It's the fake slap shot from the half wall with the pass to Braden Point in the slot for a goal. I should know that it's coming because I've seen it a million times, but I still bite that he's going to shoot. He is just so good at convincing everybody to look one direction while he's doing something the other direction. Congratulations to Kucherov for 1,000 points. When I say that name, what goes through your mind?
I mean, just talent, but he used to drive me crazy because he'd come off the ice slow, and you'd look at it. I'd go, look at that guy. He's never gonna make it. He's just coming off the ice when he wants. He's doing this, and then you'd watch him. 20 minutes later, he had 3 points, and he does everything right. But he doesn't. You know what?
Yeah.
He doesn't skate full speed unless he has to. He does everything, it seems like, in slow motion, where he's thinking in slow motion. But I don't think there's a better passer out there. Like, I mean, for a winger than Kucherov. And you're 100% correct. When he had the puck on the power play, we used to really try to take away the pass to him because the play everything ran through Kucherov, but he would past a Point, who led the league the 1 year in power play goals. He's always up there. I think Gensel was first and Point was second last year. Or he could have skipped the Point, and when he'd see Stamkos open, and he'd feed Stamkos for all the goals that he got. Or if he faked to both of them, and then all of a sudden he had that quick wrist shot that beat you. So, I mean, he can do it all, which is why one of the reasons Tampa's power play has always been one of the best ever since, he got into the league. And it's been incredible. But, I mean, this guy does everything, and he seems to do it in slow motion, which makes me think he's going to play for another 5+ years. And, he's got 1,000 points now. He's almost a guaranteed 100-point guy if he doesn't get hurt. How many points can this guy end up with? I think he's going to end up with, maybe the second most points for a Russian forward ever. And he's definitely, even at this stage with the things he's won, Stanley Cups and individual awards, he's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure.
I watch him take that shot too, and you're right. Like, we think of Kucherov, we think of the playmaking, we think of the passing. The shot is elite. Like, there are sometimes I'll watch him and I'll say to myself, did he even roll his wrists, or did the puck just like explode off his stick? He's got one of the most deceptive shots I think that I've ever seen. Just a delight to watch. And you're right about slowing down the game. Mario would slow down the game because defenders were too intimidated to try to attack him because their jock straps would usually end up spinning. Kucherov has that to him as well. Guys are just too afraid to approach him too quickly, try to close on him too fast because of the elite level skill set that he has. I want to talk about a couple of winning streaks here. New Jersey in a second, but the Utah Mammoth all of a sudden have won 7 games in a row. Their 7th win coming Sunday night against the Winnipeg Jets. They're a team that we looked at and said at the beginning of the season, if there's one team in the West that's looking to make the jump into the playoffs, it's probably Utah. They've arrived right now. Nick Schmaltz is second in NHL scoring. It's him and Eichel neck and neck right now. What do you see in Utah so far, Gabby?
Well, I really see a belief and a comfortability with their coach, and a belief that they now think they're good. Like, I think last year everything was new to them. We're in Utah for the first time. Let's enjoy the fact that we got a home. And they were good enough to always play good till March, and then they'd fold. And I think, but they got Peterka this year, and I think all their young players have grown up a little bit. It's not about development anymore. It's not about, hey, let's play for the future. I think they think their team is now, and if you look at them, look how fast they are. Now, I wasn't a real big believer in game 1, but I mean, and then they beat some teams that weren't so good. I keep going, yeah. But when they beat the Winnipeg Jets, when they start beating on this road trip that they had, they started beating all the teams. I'm going, boy, this team is fast and they're going to be hard to beat. And you take a look at Schmaltz. Like, I mean, I think it was last year or the year before, he didn't score for the first 40 games or something. And now he's leading the league, and he was good in Chicago, and he went up and down in Utah. But I'm I'm sort of a believer in these guys. I really believe that they're going to make it difficult for all these Western teams that thought, okay, this is how the West is going to go. This is how the Central is going to go. And I think Utah is now putting a little crink into a lot of these plans, and teams better that weren't playing as good as they could possibly play better start picking it up, or they're going to find themselves being left in the dust with these guys, because I do believe that they believe that they're one of the best teams in the league, and that they're not afraid of anybody, because they played a lot of really good teams right now, and they're having success. So I don't think they're afraid of anybody.
I don't think so either. And teams that have struggled in the West, you think of St. Louis, you think of Minnesota. If you're thinking it's going to be a breeze to get into a playoff spot, not so fast. All of a sudden, there's a new shark in the water here. It's the Utah Mammoth. New Jersey Devils, meanwhile, they've won 8 games in a row. And I know that there's always a concern about Jack Hughes getting injured. We've seen the shoulder injuries before. The New Jersey Devils have never had a 100-point scorer. Never. Jack Hughes came close a couple of years ago with 99. If he stays healthy, he should probably hit the century mark. And let's not forget, too, this New Jersey Devils team right now is doing all of this without Jacob Markstrom. This is being done on the back of Jake Allen. And, you know, we mentioned with Nikita Kucherov, he's the player that the other players admire. I think we could say the same thing about Jake Allen as far as being, you know, the goalie lifer. You know, during St. Louis's 2019 Stanley Cup run, Jake Allen has this ability to mimic the patterns and the habits of other goaltenders in the NHL. So you like this, Gabby. In practice, what Jake Allen would do in the Stanley Cup final against the Boston Bruins is he studied the movement patterns of Tuukka Rask, and in practice, he could practice as if he was Tuukka Rask. And it helped all the St. Louis Blues shooters, learning tendencies, learning how Tuukka Rask moved. I remember asking Jake Allen once, I said, did you actually put on a Bruins jersey? And he said, no, that would be too much. But that helped out a ton. Anyhow, they're doing this with Jake Allen, the quote-unquote backup for the New Jersey Devils. What do you see with Sheldon Keefe's team now, Gabby?
Well, I mean, they're pretty well built. I mean, and you speak of Jake Allen. We played him in the playoffs when he was in St. Louis, and he was unbelievable. And I'm just wondering, did he have like our uniforms on too? Because he stopped everything that was coming his way. But he was great. And but I mean, for a number 2, there's not too many number 2s that are as good as Jake Allen. And you could see even when they got him from Montreal of what they saw when they got Markstrom, and they said, okay, now we got a 1A, and in the NHL now you have to have 2 good goalies, because one always seems to get hurt and one only plays 50 games at the most for the most part. So I mean, good for them. But what I do see with New Jersey, I see speed upon speed upon speed. They're not big. They're fast, and they move the puck, and they come at you all the time. And Jack Hughes, if he stays healthy, I mean, is going to be that scorer that gets 100 points. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. But you know, Nemec got 3 points the other day, and as an assistant for a second pick overall. He's coming on. Luke Hughes is playing everywhere and playing all the time. So I mean, and their 3 forward lines are balanced. I mean, when I was listening to their game, and their third line so far this year has 9 goals, and every team they play, their third line usually has 1 or 2 goals. You can look at any third line in the league, and they're not much, but the balanced scoring of New Jersey has been tremendous. Their power play is almost unstoppable right now, and I mean, they got 2 units, one with what's his name, Doug, what's the defenseman, Doug Armstrong?
Dougie Hamilton.
No, Dougie Hamilton. I knew it was something like that. And he's from St. Catharines. You'd think I'd know that. But I mean, Dougie Hamilton on one, and you got Luke Hughes on the other. So they're throwing 2 units out at you that are pretty good. And they've got a great quarterback. So I see the winning streak coming to an end a little bit soon, but I think the fact that they're starting out 8-1 is really good, and I think they're going to stay right up there and surprise a lot of teams that thought they might be third in the Metro this year or just make a wild card. They're going to push Carolina for that number one spot and Washington for that number one spot in the division. I think they're really good.
There, that third line you mentioned, Connor Brown with 5 goals so far this season. You talk about stretches when you talked about Schmaltz a second ago of having long stretches without going and finding the back of the net. Connor Brown knows what that feels like, but not so much this season. That third line with Dawson Mercer and Paul Cotter has been outstanding. Okay, I want to play something for you here, Gabby. So last week on my daily show, The Sheet, I had a chance to interview Spencer Carberry, Jack Adams Award winner, head coach, Washington Capitals. And the one thing that we talked about, and I'm curious what your non-negotiable is as a coach, I asked Carberry, what is your number one non-negotiable, or what are some of the non-negotiable things that you have as a Washington Capitals head coach? Have a look. When you look at your team, I'm always curious about coaches and their non-negotiables, right? Like what do you have for the Washington Capitals in practice, in game? What is a non-negotiable for Spencer Carberry?
There's a decent amount of them, but I would say the one maybe thing from an offensive forward standpoint is all of our players, from Dylan Strome to Alex Ovechkin to Connor McMichael, you name it, has to be willing to go to the hard area of the ice, and that is right on top of the crease, and has to be willing to go there. You cannot be, I'm the perimeter guy for this shift, or I don't go there because I'm 170 pounds. And so we talk about that, work on it. I love to use Connor McMichael as an example because he's not a very physically imposing player. He's not a heavy player. He's a light player, but his willingness to go there scored him 14 goals last year in the National Hockey League, right at the net front. Yeah. And he's smart, but he's also willing to go there and willing to, when it's his turn or when it's off the rush or in the offensive zone, he goes to the inside. That is one that I, pay quite attention to, and I'm stressing that quite a bit.
Okay, Gabby. So for Spencer Carberry, it is stopping at the top of the crease. You have to be able and willing to go to that area of the ice. First of all, your thoughts on that. Second of all, what were the Bruce Boudreau non-negotiables as a coach?
Well, you know what? I agree with them 100%. I mean, I called that a given. It had to happen. Matter of fact, we did drills all the time where to be able to start coming back, you had to touch the post and come back. So everything was made to go to the net and stop and touch the post and then start your back check or whatever the drill may be. And I mean, I went and got numbers. I think 75% of all the goals the one year were scored within 5 feet of the blue paint. So if you don't want to score, don't go to the blue paint. But if you don't want to score and you're staying on the perimeter, you weren't going to play. I mean, we had to go to the net. So I agree 100% with Spencer on that one. But the big one for me all the time was make sure the puck gets behind the D. I hated turnovers more than anything at the blue line, offensive blue line, whether it was if you're a 1-on-2 and you think you can deke out these two to D and you'd get stopped. I mean, get the puck behind the D. Let's make them go 200 feet. That was a non-negotiable. And if you didn't do that, you didn't play. It's simple. I remember Michael Granlund, who I love as a player, we'd have a 1-goal lead with 8-10 minutes to go, and he'd try to deke guys, and I'd say, hey, it's 1-on-2, 1-on-3. Get the puck deep or I can't play you. Kevin Fiala in his early years was the same way. So was Jason Zucker. And I mean, until they understood that they had to get the puck behind the D, they weren't going to play when we had a lead. So it was a pretty non-negotiable. The other one that I showed video of a lot was, and I used Sidney Crosby for this as an example of coming off the ice and going on the ice hard. It used to just drive me nuts where a guy would take 2 strides and glide all the way to the bench, and you'd lose about 2 seconds of the guy being able to come back on. But it looks so good as a team when you change fast and you come back fast. The other team looks at you going, this is a team that's really got their stuff together. So those were two off the top of my head that I really, that I really wanted to make sure that we did as a team all the time. There's all the other rules that you put into place, and we could go over them. But I mean, if I wanted to sit there and say, no turnovers at either blue line killed me. But the little one, like coming off the bench hard, going on the ice hard, those things were things that I really tried to insist in our team to look at not only the culture, that's how it would be, as people would look at us and go, man, does that team work hard? They're into the game. And so, I mean, those are two of the things that I always looked at.
Let me follow that up. That's an interesting point about showing Crosby going on the ice and coming off the ice. Scotty Bowman, as you know, with that legendary Montreal Canadiens team in the 70s, they would practice line changes. Like at practice, this was something that they took a lot of pride. Would you do that as well? Practicing line changes?
And not only, it's funny you bring that up, because not only did we do it, I got it from Scotty, because I would phone Scotty a lot and ask him for advice. Okay. And say, and one of the things he would talk about early on in my career was the line changes, and that he practiced it. So when we did back checking drills, I mean, we not only did, say 3 on 5 on 5, and then or 3 on 3. And then when the other line would get ready to come for 3 on 3 the other way, that we'd always have the one guy back check. The other two guys had to race off the bench, race to the bench so the other two guys could get on. And so it was always about line changes and quickly moving back into the play. And I would phone Scotty up a lot, and I'd say, okay, like one of the big things he always told me, I said, Scotty, the other team's got momentum. What do we do? How do I change that momentum? And he'd sit there, Bruce, he said, when there's a whistle, change one guy at a time. Like just every whistle, make a change and slow the game down so the other team gets out of their rhythm, type thing. And I'd say, wow, that's really smart. You don't have to use a timeout. You're not throwing dimes on the ice to stop the play, but you're just making really slow line changes. And I thought that was brilliant. So I use that all the time.
Throwing dimes on the ice to stop. Roger
well,
Nelson,
Mike Keenan used to get back there, and he'd have, Roger and Mike Keenan. Well, they're from
Roger would
Peterborough.
Roger would have a couple of kids behind the bench, and he uses timeout early. And if he needed another timeout, he'd sort of give the nod and the wave, and all of a sudden a couple of eggs would hit the ice, and the Peterborough Petes just got themselves another timeout, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, Roger did all those kind of things. He was the first one, by the way. He used to coach baseball at Leaside Park in Toronto, and he'd do the hidden ball trick he'd come out to the pitcher's mound, give him an orange, and give the first baseman the baseball, and he'd be pounding the orange in his glove. The guy would leave the base, the first baseman would touch him, and he was out. So, you try to learn all these things.
I love it. Okay, a couple of things from Twitter X here. Every weekend we'll put out the questions for Gabby. If you want to get in, want to ask Gabby a question, the hashtag is HeyGabby. So a couple here on the maiden voyage of Hockey Lifers. This one comes in from Dane Frizzell. What were your thoughts the first time you heard Bruce, there it is, in Vancouver? They loved you there.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
the fans.
I looked up in the stands, I'm going, what? Yeah. The fans. I wouldn't go to upper management there because I don't think the feeling was the same. But the fans, they sort of liked me. And I went, what the hell is this? And I remember at the first press conference that the reporters saying, listen, did you hear the Bruce, there it is thing? And I said, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I want, to keep the focus on the players. The focus does not want to be on the coach. And I think it started like we started off 7-game winning streak when we were in Vancouver, and like for a last place club, that was quite a good winning streak. So that's when it started. After about game 4 or 5, they started saying that, but I didn't like, because I didn't want the attention on me. But by the end, when I knew I was getting fired, the guys on the bench would say, come on, we got to score because we got to hear the song. They got to yell it louder. They got to yell it louder. So guys like Luke Shen and that were saying, come on, Bruce, there it is. Bruce, there it is. Like, I mean, they were doing it on the bench, the players were, and I'd have to, my face would, well, it gets redder than red anyway, but I mean, I would be blushing but it took on a life of its own now. And you know what? When I see people, we'll go to a group, if I'm talking with a group or something, they're always started off with Bruce, there it is. So in the end, I mean, I didn't like it as a coach because it took attention away from the players. But as a non-coach, I think it's pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun. And like I mentioned off the top, those fans adored you, Bruce. They adored you. Okay, so for your chance to ask Bruce Boudreau a question, the hashtag is HeyGabby. One more before we get to story time here, which is going to be fun as well. This comes to us from, let me grab this, Dan Morency, who submits this. I'm sure there's a few stories like this. What was the one bus trip or travel in the minors that you can remember? Can be funny or just travel issues.
Well, you know, when you're in the minors for as long as I've been, there's 100 bus stories. I mean, the worst bus trip I can tell you was when I played in Johnstown my first year. We went on a Friday night. We played in Johnstown. On Saturday, we were playing in Cape Cod, and we had to go through there in a snowstorm, and it took like 20 hours. And we had a 16 bunk bus with 17 players. And who was the youngest player on the bus didn't get the bunk, and it was yours truly. And the funny thing, when you're in the minors at about 4 a.m, you're sleeping on the floor, right? And all of a sudden, if you go down a hill, here come the beer cans, and here comes all the liquid that's being spilt is all over you. So you get up, you smell like a drunken sailor when you get up because you're so soaked. And this happened on a Friday night to Cape Cod, and then Saturday we played in Beauce, Quebec, which was another 15 hours. So I know I'm getting the same thing. Now, if you know Bruce, you know that I only bring one set of clothes on the bus. I'm like the Butch Goring with the toothbrush, right? So I'm wearing the same stinking sweatsuit in the same night, the second night, and the same things going on. And then we come back home on the Sunday, which was another 15-hour bus trip. So I mean, when I got home that day, I not only stunk, it was in my hair that I had hair back then, and it was gross. The other bus trip that comes right to mind is my second year I played in Dallas, and we went from Oklahoma City to Dallas one night, and it was freezing rain. You know, anybody that lives up north, freezing rain in November, December is like ice. You can't see it. It's like black ice. So our bus driver had never seen this in his life, so he couldn't drive. So he'd put on the brakes, and we were sliding into a ditch, and he said, I'm not going anymore. So they called the state troopers, and the state troopers came in. They're trying to figure out how we can get this bus going. And they started taking out their guns and shooting at the tires. And they were shooting to break up the ice at the tires. And we're on the bus going boom, boom, boom. And the guns are going off. I'm going, where the hell am I? It's the first time I'd ever been in Texas. And I'm going, this is what they do down here? They just start shooting things. So, I mean, it had the attention of the guys on the bus, and it's just something I'll never forget. Like you got two straight troopers looking like they're John Wayne out there shooting, trying to break up the ice. So those are two quick bus stories that I remember, and that's not including the hundreds of card games and alcoholic binges that guys would go on these bus trips back in the day.
It's a different era now in the NHL, but a lot of these stories are going to be coming out here from Gabby over the course of this podcast, both audio and video. For your chance to get in, use the hashtag HeyGabby. One of the things that when we first started putting this show together is one of the first things I thought of was there's got to be so many great stories that Bruce Boudreau has of other people, other places, other teams, mascots, bus drivers. So we're going to close every episode of Hockey Lifers with story time with Gabby. Now let me frame this one particular way. Last week, the Colorado Avalanche faced off against the Carolina Hurricanes, and they both essentially did Heritage Night. They both traced their lineage back to two teams. One, the Quebec Nordiques, and two, the Hartford Whalers. Now, these are teams that existed in the WHA where you played and also in the NHL. I'm going to pull a couple of names. One from the Nordiques, one from the Whalers, and I want you just to spit out whatever is on the top of your head, starting with the Quebec Nordiques and Kurt Brackenberry.
Oh, there's a name from the past. Hey, you know what? I always tell Brack that I was a clean-cut kid till I met him. And he was my first year pro. I lived with him in Minnesota. And we became really good friends. And Brack was as tough as they come. But, I mean, he liked the nightlife and I'm not blaming him for everything, but I certainly went along with him in everything he did. And but he always did it with a smile, and he was one of the best hungover players you could find. I was one of the worst. So, but I still tried to hang with him, but it didn't work out well for me. But I mean, and you know what, Brack, just God love him, he went on to go to the Olympics as a sailor. Like, I mean, in the sailboat stuff. So I mean,
really,
you look him up. He was a sailor in the Olympics. But I mean, boy, did he know how to have fun. And that was the time when it was my first year. I think it might have been his third or fourth. And he just said, "Follow me, big boy, and we're gonna have some fun." And fun we had, but probably the wrong kind of fun at that time.
The art of playing guilty, maybe a lost one in the NHL right now. I remember Colby Armstrong telling me that one of the secrets, or maybe the dead giveaways, so the coach couldn't smell the alcohol on your breath from the night before, is the guys would just lather their chest up with like Vicks Vapor Rub. So that smell was so overwhelming, their coach wouldn't smell their breath. So when you would smell that on the ice in practice, Gabby, would you be like, okay, I know you went out last night. There's too much like Vicks Vapor Rub here on the ice this morning.
I knew exactly what. Yeah, there was certain guys you couldn't even go by because they smelt so Vicks Vapor Rubby, Hey, listen, I could tell other stories, but Brack, I did another podcast, and Brack loved him to death, but he was the star of I'm not going to say what podcast or what it was, but he was the star in one of the podcasts where I was a little more bluish in the talking category. But what a great friend. What a great guy. I had so many good times with him. I'll never forget him.
Okay, Whalers. I know I'm going to get something good out of you. When I was a kid, I used to eat at his hamburger restaurant, John Anderson.
Well, John's my best friend. And you know what? It's funny because I played in Springfield the one year, which is just down the road from Hartford. So there was so many nights that I went over to his house or to Tiger's house because they played on the same team as ex-teammates. And I felt like a little shit, quite frankly, because I'm in the minors. These two guys are in the NHL loving life. And, but I mean, we would still talk to each other all the time. I would follow them as far as I could go. But for John, me and him have stayed best friends forever. And like when his career was over in the NHL, and he was sort of bitter the way it ended a little bit. So, I mean, I convinced him to come to Fort Wayne to play for a year where we had the best time. We lived next door to each other in Fort Wayne. And it was in I think it was 1990, 91. And it was the most fun that I'd ever had playing hockey. And we had an unbelievable line of myself, minor league line, get it, of him, John Anderson, myself, and Lonnie Loach, and we were 1, 2, 3 in the scoring in the league, and it was really, really a fun time. But to this day, I mean, every summer I'll see John, and every winter, like about once a month for sure, we phone each other and make sure everything is going okay, and we're still above the ground, and love him to death. I hired him as an assistant in Minnesota. I told him my whole life that I was going to hire him if I got a chance, or him hire me, or what have you. And I got the opportunity, and Chuck Fletcher let me hire him, and Minnesota had the best power play that they'd ever had that year, and it was great. And I'll always remember him. He's tight. We're pretty tight.
Did you ever eat at John Anderson hamburgers? I used
You
to go
know
either
what?
to Etobicoke or North York.
No, I had the one on Dundas Avenue all the time, and I think there was 7 of them, and they were
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
And like, I mean,
Yes,
I
they
can't
were.
believe how good they were. Like, I mean, to me, if you were in Canada, they were better than Harvey's at the time. And I don't know what happened to them, but I wish they had stayed because, I got a discount,
I like that. You got a burger discount because Johnny was your best buddy. Great stuff, Gabby. Listen, wrapping up the program, a number of people to thank, but before we get there, a reminder to get in on the interactive segment, please use the hashtag on Twitter, #HeyGabby. I do want to call attention. John Walton is excellent, the radio voice of the Washington Capitals. His Cap Saturday face-off this weekend was dynamic, as it always is. Interview with Justin Sordiff about growing up in BC and being a huge Alexander Ovechkin fan. Interviews with Ivan LeBray and Peter Bondra and Devontae Smith-Pelly and Olaf Kolzig. Please search it out on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts on the Washington Capitals Radio Network. It is excellent. In the meantime, a bunch of people to thank for the program and getting this whole thing and this whole property, getting this plane in the air. Sean Salehi, Kyle Irian, Tim McDonough, Huey Farrell, Frank Christofouli, Friday Abernathy, and Zach Leonces all did a lot of heavy lifting, so Bruce and I could sit here and talk about John Anderson burgers. Thanks to all of you for helping get this one in the air and getting it off the ground. Thanks to you for watching. Thanks to you for listening as well. Please don't forget, subscribe to our Monumental Sports Network YouTube channel, where you can find us on a consistent basis. We're here every Monday. On behalf of Bruce Boudreau and the whole crew here, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hockey Lifers, we're back in 7 days.